Hello, Makako, and good afternoon. Mahalo for joining today's AEN hearing. It's Friday, March 14th, 2025, and we're convened here in room 224. And video conferencing, which includes the audio and video of remote participants that's being streamed live on YouTube. In the unlikely event that the hearing is cut short, then the committee will reconvene to discuss any outstanding business on Monday, March 17th at 1:01 p.m. during AEN's time slot. And a public notice will be posted. And because of our 90-minute time limit for the hearing, there'll be a 1-minute time limit on your testifying, and we'll have a virtual countdown timer on the Zoom screen. And I also want to mention up front that it's a 5-member committee. I need 3 for quorum.
Serious.
I don't expect them to be showing up. There's something else going on, and they informed me that. So decision making will be on Monday at 1:01 p.m. March 17th in 224. I didn't want some of you sitting around waiting, for decision making, and it doesn't happen. So it's not going to happen today. Just I thought let you know up front.
It's at 102.
Oh, 102. Sorry. Oh yeah. So 1:02 p.m. on Monday, March 17th is when we'll have decision making for this hearing. Starting off, first, HB 48 HD2 relating to coffee labeling clarifies the labeling and advertising requirements for coffee that is grown and processed in the state, defines regional origin. First up is Department of Ag.
Good afternoon, Chair. Greg Takeshima, Pesticides Program Manager representing the Department of Agriculture. The department stands on its written testimony and support.
Thank you, Craig. And anyone else wishing to testify on this measure? We have Rebecca Villegas in support, Brian Miyamoto from the Farm Bureau in support, and also James Falconer from the Hawai'i Coffee Growers also in support. Anyone else, either online or in person? Moving on, HB 782 HD1 establishes within the Department of Ag a working group to review and make recommendations on amending or repealing unnecessary or obsolete laws pertaining to agriculture. First up, Department of Ag.
Good afternoon, Chair. Strongly on the move, Department of Agriculture stands for written testimony offering comments.
Okay, thank you. Bobby Melton from the Hawaii Agricultural Research Center.
Hi, Chair. Robbie Nelson of Park. We stand on the written testimony.
Thank you, Robbie. Brian Miyamoto's not here. He's in support with Farm Bureau. Nicole Gallasse on Zoom.
Thank you, Chair Gabbard. Nicole Gallasse on behalf of the Hawaii Cattlemen's Council will stand on our written testimony in support. Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. Anyone else wishing to testify on this measure? There were 11 in support and 0 opposed, 1 comment. Previous measure, HB 48, there were 4 in support, 0 opposed, 0 comments. Moving on to the next measure, HB 980 HD1 relating to animals, amends the law authorizing the killing of mongoose by clarifying the circumstances under which mongoose may be killed and authorizing feral chickens to be killed under certain circumstances. First up, Department of Ag.
Good afternoon, Chair. The department stands on its written testimony with comments.
Comments? Thank you, Craig. Inga Gibson with Pono Advocacy on Zoom. Hi, Inga. Aloha.
Aloha, Chair Gabbard. Thank you so much for the opportunity. In strong opposition, it's unfortunate Senator Dr. Richards isn't there with you because this is really the worst time of any time to be introducing legislation to allow people to take the killing and potential disposal of birds into their own hands. As you all well know, we're facing H5N1 avian influenza. The CDC and our own Department of Health have strict protocols regarding potential disease spread, biosecurity, disinfection, contamination. This bill essentially puts this into the hands of anyone wanting to kill chickens. It is a really bad measure for public health, for animal welfare, even the amendments in the last committee saying that, you know, this needs to be done within AVMA guidelines. Most individuals do not know American Veterinary Medical Association guidelines, and those guidelines would not allow any person to use the methods that are recommended. So strong opposition. If the committee feels compelled to pass something out, happy to work with amendments, but we strongly urge you defer this bill. It
Thank you,
undermines
Steph.
our foundational animal cruelty statute. Mahalo, Chair.
Thank you very much. Next up is Stephanie Kendrick with the Hawaiian Humane Society on Zoom. Hey, Steph, aloha.
Aloha, Chair Gabbard. Stephanie Kendrick with the Hawaiian Humane Society. We share Pono Advocacy's concerns about this measure and also stand opposed. We did recommend minimally that the bill be amended to require AVMA folks disposing of chickens to meet AVMA standards rather than simply allowing it as the measure does as written. But to Inga's point, the measure still presents animal cruelty and public health issues. Most of the AVMA techniques that do not require specialized equipment or controlled substances do require very close contact with animals. And when we're dealing with an H5N1 outbreak, that seems extremely ill-advised, as does allowing people to dispose of what might be sick birds without alerting anyone in public authority. So I would strongly recommend that the committee defer this measure. And if we do need some other protocols for managing our feral chicken population, we can probably do that without compromising the animal cruelty statute. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Steph. Anyone else wishing to testify on this measure? Okay, there were 4 in support, 7 opposed, and 2 with comments. We'll move on to HB 1237. HD1 relating to biosecurity appropriates funds to the Department of Ag for agricultural biosecurity and the prevention, detection, and control of invasive species in Maui County. First up, Department of Ag.
Chair,
In support. Thank you. Christy Martin from CGAPS.
Aloha, Chair. Christy Martin, Coordinating Group on Alien Pest Species, CGAPS. Mahalo for the opportunity. CGAPS is in support of this measure. The Maui Invasive Species Committee has provided those services when they're able to do that, fly over and assist. We do have a couple of comments and a request. One of them is that the language is not clear that if a Lanai Invasive Species Committee were to be created, that they can work on other things other than coqui frogs. So we propose some language amendment to widen that. We also wanted to also suggest that there could be cost savings if funding were to go to Maui Invasive Species Committee through the University of Hawaii instead of the Department of Agriculture taking an overhead.
Okay.
Mahalo for the opportunity.
Thank you, Christy. Next is Taya Penniman from the Maui Invasive Species Committee. Hi, Taya. Aloha.
Aloha, Chair. Tia Penniman, Maui Invasive Species Committee. We stand in support of our written testimony and offer the following comments. Ms. greatly appreciates the intent to provide more funding for invasive species work in Maui County. We suggest that language in Section 2 be broadened to invasive species or pests as proposed by the Department of Agriculture in order to ensure that the proposed additional biosecurity capacity from Molokai and Lanai is not limited to work on coconut rhinoceros beetles. We respectfully request that the language in Section 3 be amended to support work by the Maui Invasive Species Committee on little fire ants in addition to work on coqui frogs. Since 2016, nearly all post-border work on little fire ants has been led by and staffed by MISC. We're concerned that if there is dedicated funding for work on little fire ants in Maui County, that the model established this year of using private pest control operators is not a good fit for Maui due to the nature of infestations, and that it will not adequately advance the goal of eradication. Understanding why that is important to understand the nature of the little fire ant infestations on Maui, which are not limited to urban houses, which would be better suited for private pest control.
Your time's up. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Lori Buchanan from MOMISC on Zoom. You there, Lori?
No, she's not available on Zoom, Chair.
Okay. Anyone else wishing to testify on this measure? Okay, on this one, we had 28 in.
I'm coming in.
Oh,
Here I
there
am.
you are. Okay.
Aloha, Chair Gabbard, Chelsea Arnott on behalf of the Hawaiian Invasive Species Council. We submitted our testimony in support, but also reflecting the comments made by the Maui Invasive Species Committee and the Coordinating Group on Alien Pest Species. Available for any questions. Mahalo.
Thank you, Chelsea. Let's see, 28 in support, 0 opposed, and comments 1.
Aloha, Chair Gabbard, Chelsea Arnott on behalf of the Hawaiian Invasive Species Council. We submitted our testimony in support, but also reflecting by the Maui Invasive
Wait a minute, I don't think that counts.
Coordinating Group on Alien. Available for any questions. Mahalo.
Okay. I see Lori Buchanan there. Lori? That was weird. That was the first. Sorry, Chelsea, it only counts as 1 testimony.
Support, but also reflecting.
Okay, Lori. Aloha. Turn your sound on. There you go.
I am here, Honorable Senator Gabbard. It's so nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
I am in support, strong support of the bill. I do support testimony from Tea and the Maui Invasive Species Committee. And I wanted to thank you and your committee for reviewing it and helping us out over here. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Lori. All right, next we'll move into some resos that we have, SCR 88 and SR 71, which is requesting the Department of Ag to establish and administer a microbial algae soil products pilot program. And first up is Department of Ag.
Chair Gabbard, Romeo Momoto, Department of Agriculture, stands on its written testimony offering comments.
Okay, thank you. And then, okay. 71. Anyone else wishing to testify on this measure? Moving on. SCR 91 and SR 74. So for those of you who are not familiar, SCR stands for Senate Concurrent Resolution. It includes the House, and the bill that's right with it is Senate Resolution. So in case the House does not agree, the Senate resolution has a chance to pass. So this one here, urging the legislature to advance legislation and support policies that safeguard individuals in the agricultural community, their families, their livestock and other property, and other individuals under their employment or care by amending the state's self-defense laws to deprioritize the duty to retreat in certain circumstances. First up is Department of Ag.
Good afternoon, Chair. The department stands on its written testimony in support.
And support, thank you. Nicole Galassi, Hawaii Cattlemen's Council.
Thank you, Chair Gabbard. Nicole Galassi on behalf of the Hawaii Cattlemen's Council. We stand on our testimony in support because I know too many cases of our ranchers being faced with illegal trespassers and poachers who have weapons on them. They're in rural areas. They have no idea how that armed person is going to react, but their first thought is, what are the consequences if I try to defend myself? And that's a valid question because right now it seems that trespassers have more rights than landowners or lease owners. And our ranchers who face this, they're mothers, they're fathers, they're responsible members of the community who are just trying to keep their ranch in operation. We need to protect our farmers and ranchers in these rural areas and deter illegal trespassers on ag lands. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nicole. Master Shelby Pikachu Billionaire is on Zoom.
Yes, they're here on Zoom.
I'm here. Hello, everybody. How's it going? What's up,
Wow.
everybody? I support the bill, resolution, and you guys, so you can support everything we already said before. And it was entitled with the 703-304, so to help reinforce the bill, the laws already made in HPD to stand your own ground in case you feel like you're going to get raped, murdered, your property, and your life, so you can protect your children. And we want to honor Duke, Pia, everyone who passed away. My heart goes out to all of you. This should never happen to any of your kids or your property or your family. anywhere in the presence of time. So hopefully you guys can pass this so we can help protect our children, our future, and it's already in the books. So thank you very much and aloha. Choo!
Thank you. And Raquel Achu on Zoom.
She's not available on Zoom, Chair.
Okay. 91 and 74. Let's see. Brian, Cole, Calais Salcedo.
Mahalo, Honorable Chair Garrett. I totally support this resolution. It's been way too long and overdue, and I'm gonna just keep repeating myself. You know, we've been reaching out for years, and it took a life. And we faced with unethical hunters. We just had recently kids. We know they was under the age of 16, you know, and they had rifles, you know, and by the time you go for call HPD, it's going to take time or the man shot, you know. So I do support this fully 100% because I'm on my property. If I turn my back to retreat, the perpetrator in a type of mind they're going to be in, they're going to shoot me in my back. No, it's going to be with my grandchildren, me or them. And it's sure not going to be my grandchildren, and it's sure not going to be me. So I really support.
Okay, thank you, Calais. Next is Austin Salcedo.
Aloha, Honorable Senator Gabbard. With great appreciation for championing this bill. Senate Resolution 74. It's long overdue, and I had gone in person on last year's February's brief meeting and seen the testimonies that was provided. And the ultimatum is us ranch owners, agricultural landowners, we are faced on a daily basis with aggressive, unethical hunters. I had gone through a study course for hunting safety, and this type of measures that, aggressive hunters, they don't follow these rules. So they haven't gone through these courses. So what we have is we have knuckleheads that's coming on our properties illegally, neglecting all our posted signage, and what we are faced with, aggressive hunters that wants to do their hunt. But I tell you what, they come with their dogs, and I'll show you some graphic pictures. These all videos. 4 milking goats in one morning, horrifically killed, headshots. And what it shows me is this was an aggressive dogs made to hunt and kill. And this mountain that was my property sits on the side slopes of KL mountains. And there's no hunting dogs at no time throughout the year.
Thank you, Austin. Your time's up. Thank you
Oh,
very
I'm sorry.
much.
Thank
No,
you.
no.
I support the bill.
Thank you very much.
The resolution, I'm sorry.
Okay. And so we have anyone else wishing to testify on this measure? No, actually you can't, yeah. So there's, for the SCR 91, there was 11 in support, 0 opposed. And for the SR, the Senate Resa, there were 13 in support and 0 opposed. So moving on to SCR 93 and SR 76, urging the governor and the state to work towards a just climate future by integrating indigenous knowledge into policy and decision-making processes related to climate adaptation, climate mitigation, and climate resiliency. First up is by Zoom, Sharde Freitas. Sharde here? There she is.
Aloha, Chair Gabbard.
Aloha.
Aloha. Ovao Sharde Mersberg Freitas, he makua hinevo, noho au ma waiakea hilo. I extend my gratitude to you and the committee for hearing this resolution and stand on my written testimony. I'd also like to comment that, this resolution is particularly timely, and I would be remiss without acknowledging the elephant in the room, that's the ongoing chaos happening with the oligarchical assumption of power happening at the federal level. And here in Hawaii, this type of violent takeover is not new to us, as Hawaii was illegally overthrown by an oligarchy of plantation U.S. businessmen. And mahalo to those who advocated for Hawaiian values and protection of our natural and cultural resources that is enshrined in our Hawaii State Constitution. This resolution provides an opportunity for our state to stand firm in protecting all that makes Hawaii so beautiful and unique. And while this resolution may seem a small step to some in the right direction, I wanted to share, remind us all of the Hawaiian perspective that we plan for 7 generations into the future. My daughter is one of the youth plaintiffs as part of the Navahine v. State Hawaii Department of Transportation case, and she provided me this quote. If I could just share this last piece, I know I'm over time.
Go ahead.
He mea ko'i ka mālama ana I ka honua e ola I nā kanaka. I nā ʻaoli mālama e pauana nā mea a kākou e ai, no leila piliki ana kākou. Basically, the importance of caring for the land that gives us life and food that nourishes us, and without doing so, we'll have a big problem. Youth, they see it so clearly for what it is. And so I urge the committee to adopt this resolution. Mahalo nui for the opportunity to testify.
Mahalo. Thank you, Shari. Let's see, Master Shelby Picacho, billionaire.
Aloha, my kako, everyone. Yes, I just looked over this resolution. I agree with how it's written. I know we got 1 year to use it to protect the climate. I agree with how it's written to get the olelo vai, the values inside, because we know it's pollution, corruption, the smuggling in the ports. And we got Mike Gabbard up there to help with agriculture, to tell them the truth of how we need aquaponics. We live on islands. We should be self-sustainable, and it should make sense logically for everybody here to grow their own food, raise their own plants. They can build their own house. And with this resolution, hopefully we can move forward together with everybody working in harmony, city, county, state, public, private partnerships. Thank you very much for moving forward. Aloha.
Thank you, Pikachu. Next, SCR 94 and SR 77, Maui Axis Deer Control and Venison Initiative. First up, Department of Ag.
Good afternoon, Chair. The department stands on its written testimony with comments.
Okay. Nicole Galassi on Zoom.
Thank you, Chair. Nicole Galassi on behalf of the Hawaii Cattlemen's Council. We stand on our written testimony submitted in support. Mahalo.
Okay, thank you. All right, for these two, concurrent and the reso, there were 4 in support of the SCR 94, 0 opposed, 1 comment. And on the Senate Resolution 77, there were 4 in support, 0 opposed, and 1 comment. Moving on, SCR 103 and SR 84, requesting the governor to convene a temporary working group to investigate the existence and environmental dangers of PFAS substances and other related chemicals. First up is Department of Ag.
Good afternoon, Chair. The department stands on its written testimony with comments. Available for questions.
Thank you. Board of Water Supply.
Good afternoon, Chair. Joyce Lin with the Honolulu Board of Water Supply. We stand on our written testimony and strong support. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to testify on these 2 measures? Okay, so as I said at the beginning of the hearing, because of lack of quorum, we will not have decision-making today. That decision-making will be for the entire agenda on Monday, March 17th at 1:02 p.m. here in room 224. Adjourning the meeting.